Welcome to your Monday Morning Pearl. I'm Steve Keck. Giving feedback is a critical skill for every sales manager. And so today, we're going to continue our conversation from last week about how, as a manager, we can make sure that we do not deliver stale feedback. So there are 3 things I want you to keep in mind when you're delivering feedback to your sales team. Each of your sales team members needs these 3 things to feel empowered to accept and take action on your feedback. And those 3 things are this: agency, dignity, and hope. Agency means, do they have any ownership in what the feedback is requiring of them? When you remove a salesperson's agency, what you've done is you've made them powerless to do anything but take and move on your feedback. And when you do that enough, they give up because they don't feel like they have any ownership in their success. They are only doing what you say, and that is not empowering. That is controlling. And a simple way to give your salesperson agency in your feedback is to ask them, how are they expecting to implement the feedback that you're giving? You could just simply say, I gave you this feedback. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with it when you execute in the future. And the second thing is dignity. How you say something is often more important than what you actually say when you're giving feedback. If out of frustration you ridicule or patronize or downgrade their skills or make offhand comments, you create the environment where that feedback becomes less and less valuable because you have erased the dignity of the person receiving it. And this is to your own detriment, because if they don't feel dignified by who you are, you can't lead them to where you need them to go. And this is an important thing for sales leaders and leaders of sales leaders. If you aren't checking in on how your sales managers are creating an environment of dignity for the sales team, you are going to lose a lot of people with the excuse that they didn't cut it. And that's not the truth. It's your management style of your leaders. And if you're an executive sales leader, it is critical for you to know whether your sales managers are treating their sales team with dignity. If you have an office that has experienced high turnover and it's persistently the salespeople's fault, you at some point have to recognize that the sales manager is doing something to create an environment where salespeople can't survive. So it is your responsibility to preserve the dignity of the frontline sales team. And the third thing is hope. It's important for you to be able to see a vision of what's possible in the middle of having to correct something that you did wrong. Because if there's no vision for what's possible, sometimes they just create a cycle of negative behavior requiring more feedback, and they get into a death spiral, so to speak, when it comes to not being able to work and move forward. So when you're delivering this type of feedback, always infuse something that allows them to see that they can get through it. Giving them an outlet or a hope or an opportunity to see that there is a possibility to get better can drastically improve their receptivity to your feedback. A perfect example would be, hey, I had dealt with this very thing when I was a salesperson, and this is how I got through it. I'm going to help you walk to the end of this, and we're going to get good at this. Okay, sales leaders, it's time to get focused on feedback. The 3 things I want you to remember this week: are you giving your team agency or ownership in how they execute their feedback? Are you speaking with dignity to help them maintain a sense of self while receiving constructive feedback? And are you giving them hope on how to accomplish and a vision for what's possible for accepting your feedback? You put these 3 things in play and you will see remarkable changes in the way your team responds to the feedback that you're giving. And as always, if you or your sales team need guidance on how to give better feedback and get their teams moving, reach out to us and let's have a conversation. We know how to help sales teams thrive. You can find us at our website or one of our social channels.